Okay, so first thing I want to do is we're going to just go for the side stretch that I love so much, the oblique abdominals. So you're going to take your feet about hips distance apart and then take the arms up toward the sky. And it doesn't really matter what you do with your arms. You can interlace your fingers. You can grab your left wrist if you'd like to. So first thing you want to do though, once you pick your arms up, is that your front ribs tend to punch out a little bit. You've got these two floating ribs that tend to kind of press forward. So pull them in using your transverse abdominals. And then once you do that, you're going to lift up nice and tall and stretch over to your right hand side. And squeeze your legs into the midline a little bit. Pretend you're squeezing a block between your thighs. Let your head rest on your right arm. Come up on the inhale, switch hands, or if you're just interlacing fingers, don't change a thing, and reach over to the left-hand side. Keep squeezing legs into the midline, grab the ground with the feet, so pull the balls of the feet and the heels of the feet toward each other. Let your head rest on your left arm. Check in with your core, your transverse abdominals. Zip up your low belly, pull the front ribs in. And come on up on the inhale, and then release the arms to the sides. Do a couple big shoulder rolls, both directions. And we're going to back off of the chaturangas, the push-ups, a little bit, because they tend to make your shoulders a little bit on the tighter side, especially if you're rolling forward at all in the shoulders. So I'll do a couple, but nothing super intense. So from here, take the arms up on the inhale and look up toward the thumbs. Exhale, fold and bend the knees. Inhale, stretch forward. Lengthen out your tailbone and reach your heart forward. So try to get your spine pretty long. Zip up the low belly. Exhale, relax. Let's do this a couple more times. Inhale, lengthen out the spine. Zip up the low belly. Exhale, relax. One more time. Inhale, lengthen it out and stretch. And exhale, relax. All right, plant the hands, step back. Press forward, lift your chin, lower down halfway. Tops the feet, inhale, draw the shoulder blades down your back, lift your belly a little bit, maybe even lift your thighs off the ground. And then exhale, downward dog. So walk it out, press one heel down, press the other heel down. All right, let's warm up the hips just a little bit more, get some more heat in the body. So lift your right leg toward the sky. And I'm going to change directions here a little bit so you can see better. But once you lift that right leg toward the sky, keep lifting. Press your left heel down and press your left hip crease up. So you're trying to stretch your left leg in two directions. And then you're going to slightly change your right leg. So once you have done that, you're going to take your right leg straight out to the side and point your right knee forward toward the front of your mat. So your right toes and right knee are pointing forward. Your right leg may not be that high. It's okay. You're just trying to get these outer hip muscles to start doing a little bit more work. All right, bring that leg back in. Now lift your left leg toward the sky. Relax your neck a little bit. Make sure there's no tension building up in it. All right, now take your left leg straight out to the side and point your left knee forward and your left toes forward toward the front of your mat. All right, bring that leg back in. Look up. Inhale, step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, take it to the sky. And exhale, arms to the sides. All right, let's do another sun salutation. Take the arms up on the inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, step back. Take a moment and lift your chin and roll your shoulders onto your back, and then exhale, lower down. Inhale, tops the feet. Exhale, downward dog. Lift your arm muscles up against your arm bones. Lift your armpits up against your lift your armpits up as if you've got like little balloons under your armpits, lifting them up. Roll the shoulders onto your back. All right, lift that right leg out to the side again. Kneecap pointing straight forward. And then you're going to do what I call dog in a fire hydrant. You're going to bend that knee and press that right heel toward your left hip. Keep zipping up your low belly and make sure there's a little bit of a lift under your left armpit. And look up, lunge your right leg forward. Drop your back knee. Come on up and interlace your fingers behind your back. So since this is our first big shoulder opener, you're not going to try to go really deep here. What you want to do is just see if you can roll the shoulders under your back and maybe get your arms a little bit straighter. So once you're a little bit straighter here, look up toward the sky. And release your hands down to the ground. Step back to down dog. And let's go for the other side. Lift your left leg straight out to the side. Kneecap pointing forward. Toes pointing forward. And then you can turn this into dog in a fire hydrant. Open up the hip and press that left heel toward the right hip. Zip up your belly and lift your right armpit up. All right, and then look up, lunge that left leg forward. Drop your back knee. Interlace the fingers again behind your back. This time you're going to go for the non-dominant grip. Open up your heart. And release the hands down to the ground. Step your left leg back for a moment and walk it out. Relax your neck, shake out your head, nod your head. Look up, inhale, step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, take it to the sky. And exhale, arms to the sides. All right, sun salutation B. Big toes together, heels slightly apart. Interlace the fingers and press the palms of the hands forward and sink back into an imaginary chair. And then as you press the palms of the hands forward, also pull the arm bones back into your shoulder sockets. And stay aware, stay connected here. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, step back. Press forward, lift your chin, lower down. Tops the feet, inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Left heel pivots and plants. Right foot lunges forward. Warrior one, inhale. So once you're up here, lift your front hip points. You've got two bumps here on the front of your hips. Lift them up a little bit. Your tailbone's going to drop. Drop your shoulders and look up towards your thumbs. All right, now bring your hands to the back of your head and press your elbows out to the sides. And then press your head back into your hands. So you're going to start feeling your shoulders opening up a little bit here. Keep pulling your front ribs in and zip up your low belly. All right, hands down to the ground on the exhale. Step your right leg back. Press forward, lower down. Inhale, up dog. Shoulders down the back. Exhale, down dog. Left leg lunges. Big inhale, come into warrior one. Lift your front hip points. See if that left knee is over the ankle. Just want to be able to see your big toe when you look down. Drop your shoulders, look up toward the thumbs. Press into the outer edge of your back foot. All right, bring those hands back to the back of your head again. Press your head back into your hands. So you're creating a little bit of a back bend, but you should be feeling this in your shoulders. Stretch your elbows out to the sides. Keep lifting your front hip points. And big exhale. Take the hands down to the ground. Step your left leg back. Press forward. Lower all the way down to your belly. All right, once you're on your belly, you're going to slide your hands all the way back by your hips. Hands are flat on the ground. Palms of the hands are flat on the ground next to your thighs. And then lift your chest up. Pull the front ribs in. And then lift your legs up. Roll your pubic bone toward the ground and squeeze your legs toward each other. And then roll your shoulders onto your back. And then see if you can lift your arms up. Stay in the moment here. Breathe deeply. All right, plant those hands behind the shoulders, roll the shoulders onto your back. Push back to child's pose. Get a nice big stretch through your back. So you want to be actively pushing forward with your fingers into the mat. Your hips will get a little bit closer to your heels. And look up at your fingers. Spread your fingers out. Flip your toes over. Find a downward dog. Lift your armpits up a little bit and roll the shoulders onto your back. Stretch the top of the head toward your fingers so your neck feels long. And look up. Inhale, step forward. Big toes touching. Exhale, fold. Sink into Utkatasana. Take the arms up and look up. Exhale, straighten the legs. Arms to the sides. All right, sun salutation C. Take the arms up on the inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, step your left leg back. Drop your back knee. All right, let's add a little bit more into the shoulders here. So take the hands behind the head again. Press your head back into your hands, so you're creating a little bit of a back bend. And now keep the elbows stretching out to the sides, but see if you can separate your hands from the back of the head. So sort of float them backward away from your head. You're going to be opening up a little bit more of the front shoulder here. Now keep the fingers interlaced and stretch the palms of the hands up so the palms of the hands are still facing the front of your mat. A little bit of functional movement here through the shoulders. And then you're going to separate those arms and swing them back and reach them back behind you. So palms of the hands are probably going to be facing each other a little bit. And then you're going to bring the backs of your hands to your low back. Take a moment and roll the shoulders onto your back and stretch your elbows out to the sides and back. And then see if you can touch the tips of your fingers together and pull the backs of your hands off your low back. So it may only be an inch or half an inch. Don't forget to breathe. Zip up your low belly. And now reach your arms down. Stretch those arms back down again. And ready to come all the way up to the back of the head again. So take the arms all the way up. And then to the back of the head. Press your head back into your hands again. And then pull the hands off of the head. All right. Release the hands down to the ground. Step back. Lift your left leg toward the sky. All right, take that leg out to the left again. Lift it up a tiny bit. Zip up your low belly. And now go to dog and fire hydrant. Bend the knee and press the heel toward the right hip and lift the left knee toward the sky. And then lift your left leg and stretch it out. You can point or flex those left toes. And we're going to lunge it forward. Lunge that left leg forward. Drop your back knee. Take the arms up on the inhale. And exhale. Take the hands down to the ground. Step your right leg forward. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. And exhale, fold forward. My morning sneeze. Inhale, stretch forward. Excuse me. And exhale, step your right leg back. All right, drop your back knee. Let's go for those arms again. So you're going to take the arms up on the inhale. Then bring the hands to the back of the head. Press your head back into your hands. And then keep pressing the head back, but also take the hands off the head. Pull them backward a little bit. Put some space between your hands and your head. Pull the front ribs in, zip up the low belly. And now extend the arms up toward the sky. And then we're going to make big circles or big half circles behind us. Reach back behind you and reach all the way back down toward the ground. Palms of the hands are probably facing each other. And then bring the backs of the hands to your low back. Zip up your low belly. Roll the shoulders onto your back and pull your elbows backward and down. And then see if you can get the tips of the fingers to touch and pull the hands off your back. So you've got about a half inch there between your back and the backs of your hands. Now reach down. We're going to come all the way up. Big inhale, take the arms all the way up to the sky. And then bring the hands to the back of the head again. Press your head back. Elbows out to the sides, shoulders down. And then pull the hands off the head again. And then take the arms up toward the sky on the inhale. Exhale, take your hands down to the ground. Step back. Lift your right leg toward the sky. Take your right leg out to the side. So right kneecap is pointing forward. Lift. All right, bend the knee. Bring the right heel toward the left hip and lift that right knee up. A little bit of a lift into the left armpit. And look up, lunge your right leg forward. Drop your back knee. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Go for the non-dominant grip. Stretch your fist down. Open up your heart. And take the hands down to the ground. Step your left leg forward. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Inhale, take it to the sky. And exhale, arms to the sides. Let's do one more time, slight variation. Take the arms up on the inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, step your left leg back. Drop your back knee. All right, let's add in a little bit of a twist. Bring your hands up to your thigh. And then you're going to take your left arm up and stretch over to your right. Look up towards your left hand, so you have a nice neutral curve in your neck. And then take that left arm to the outside of your right leg. Lift your belly up, pull it around a little bit. Bring your hands together. Lengthen your spine first before you go anywhere, and then flip your back toes over and maybe lift your back knee up. All right, hands down to the ground. Step your left leg back. Lift your left leg toward the sky. Take that left leg straight out to the side again. And then bend the knee. And then let's try to flip our dogs into a back bend. So lift your right heel up high. Turn your right toes, pivot your right toes to the left. Bend your right leg a little bit. And that left leg should feel pretty heavy. Come on over. If it's not working for you, stay in that dog or fire hydrant posture. And then look at that left hand.
All right, adding a little bit of shoulders, bring your left hand to the back of your head and push your head back into your left hand. All right, flip it back over again. Lunge your left leg forward and drop your back knee. And let's go for a little bit more quadricep stretch. So you might want to use a block here. Bring your forearms to the block or to the ground. And then your left leg might swing out to the left a little bit, which is fine. Since all of us have slightly different shaped hip sockets, if it swings out a little bit and that feels like a nice neutral place for your hip socket, that's great. Do use a little bit of inner thigh. So squeeze your left inner thigh in a little bit, just so you're engaging it. That doesn't mean a whole lot is going to happen in terms of where your knee points. But as long as you feel your inner thigh, you're doing the right thing. So drag left heel and right knee toward each other. Okay, we're going to add in a little bit of hamstring here. So you may want 2 blocks. You're going to switch your weight so that you're shifting it back over right hip, over right knee. And then you're going to flex your left toes toward you and drag your left heel back against the mat. So it's almost like you're pulling your left leg into your hip socket. And then as you're dragging in, turn your toes in a little bit, turn your toes out a little bit so you can get all the way through the hamstrings. And then maybe a little bit of a forward bend over that left leg. Okay, if you want to make this a tiny bit more challenging, flip your back toes over and see if you can lift your right knee off the ground. So I'm just kind of pressing into my back foot and my right knee is hovering over the ground. All right, drop that back knee if it was up, and then come forward into that left leg and lift your back knee. Let's step it forward. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, hinge at the hips. Inhale, take it to the sky. And exhale, fold forward. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, right leg back. All right, we're going to go for the twist to the left. So come on up. Take your right arm up. You're going to stretch over to your left-hand side and look up towards your right hand so that you've got a nice curve in your neck, a neutral curve. Let's go for the twist. Take that right arm to the outside of the left leg. Lift your belly up. Pull it around a little bit. Bring your hands together. Lengthen your spine. Lift your tailbone back and your heart forward. And then flip your back toes over. See if you can lift your back knee off the ground a little bit. And then maybe that leg gets a little bit straighter. Don't forget to breathe. Zip up your belly. Maybe look over your left shoulder. Breathe. Pay attention to what's happening right now. All right, hands down to the ground, step back. Lift your right leg toward the sky. Take the leg out to the side so your right kneecap is pointing forward. Bend the knee, press that right heel toward the left hip and lift your right knee up. Get a little bit of a lift under your left armpit. And then let's try to flip our dog. Lift your left heel up high, pivot your toes to the right, bend your left leg a little bit, and bring that right leg over. Look at your right hand. And then if you want to add a little bit more shoulder into this, bring your right hand to the back of your head and press your head back into your hand. All right, flip it back over. Lunge your right leg forward. Drop your back knee, and then let's go a little bit deeper. So forearms down to a block or down to the ground. Again, just kind of squeeze that right leg in a little bit toward your right side. It doesn't have to touch at all. You just want to engage those inner thighs. Keep your chin up. Breathe deeply. Pay attention to what's happening right now. right, we're going to shift our weight back. So get your hips over your left knee, and you might want to use your blocks here. Drag your right heel back towards you, pulling your right leg back into your hip socket. Turn your toes out a tiny bit, turn your toes in a tiny bit. Zip up your low belly. All right, and then you're going to add just a tiny bit more. This gets a little bit more of your core engaged. So you're going to flip your back toes over and hover your left knee off the ground about an inch. If that's just a little bit too much, keep your knee on the ground. All right, left knee back down. Switch your weight forward a little bit. Lift your back knee up, and then inhale. Step forward, look forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way to the sky. And exhale, arms to the sides. All right, we're going to mess around a little bit with this next sun salutation. Just throw a bunch of stuff in here. Take the arms up on the inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, step your left leg back. Drop your back knee. All right, let's do an open twist. You're going to bring your left hand to your block or to the ground, just below your left shoulder. Turn your right toes out to the right, and then you're going to peel your right foot up off the ground so you're on the pinky edge or the knife edge of your foot. Then bring your right hand to your thigh, roll your right shoulder onto your back, and then roll your left shoulder onto your back. And this is one of my favorite postures because it's really pretty straightforward here. You're just trying to get a lot of core and hips to engage. Then take your right arm back behind you and keep rolling your left shoulder onto your back. And this is great. And then let's add in a little bit more. So you're going to bring your right hand to the back of your head and push your head back slightly. So you're getting a little bit more upper back bend. And then keep pressing your head back. You can remove your hand, keep pressing your head slightly back and pulling your chin in toward your neck a little bit. And then possibly bend that back knee and possibly grab the foot. All right, release. Bring your hands down to the ground. Step back. Lift your left leg toward the sky. And then we're going to come into a high lunge and warrior three. So look up, lunge your left leg forward. Come up into a high lunge. Lift that back thigh up. So pretend there's like a toddler running around, and that toddler's going to sit down on your back leg. So you're providing a bench. So lift that back thigh up really firmly. Zip up the belly, and then we're going to come into warrior three. So take your weight forward into your left leg and find a warrior three. So arms out in front is probably the hardest variation here. If you feel like you want to open up the shoulders a little bit more, arms out to the sides is a great variation. Arms back behind you is a great variation. So hang out here, play with your different variations. You can also take your hands to the back of your head and push your head back into your hands and lift your elbows. And let's try one more. Take the arms back behind you and bring the backs of your hands to your low back. Lift your elbows, and then see if you can get your hands off your back. Half an inch. All right, bring the hands back to the back. Step back. You're going to open up for warrior two. So once you're in warrior two, drop your shoulders and then pull your fingers and thumbs back towards your face and press out through the heels of the hands. Keep dropping your shoulders. All right, bring your hands down to the ground. Drop your back knee. And then from here, we're going to go for a little twist to the left side. So turn your left toes out to the left. Plant your right hand. Bring your left hand to your thigh. Roll your left shoulder onto your back. And then roll your right shoulder onto your back. And look over your left shoulder. Now take your left hand to the back of your head and push your head back into your left hand. So you get a little tiny back bend happening here. Now reach that left arm back. Keep rolling your right shoulder onto your back. And then if you want to add in your back leg, you can try to bend your knee and grab the back foot. All right, bring your hands down to the ground, step back, lift your right leg toward the sky, and we're gonna lunge it forward. Look up, bring that right leg forward, come into a high lunge. Drop the shoulders, zip up the belly, lift your front hip points. Lift your back thigh up as if somebody's about to sit down on your back thigh. All right, come into your warrior three. Take your weight into your right leg. Start with your arms forward, but we're going to go out to the side. So arms are going to come out to the side. Get those shoulders lifted. Now take the arms back behind you. Now take the hands to your low back, backs the hands to your low back, and lift your elbows. And then possibly see if you can get your hands off your back. Just hover them an inch over your back. All right. Take your arms forward again. Bring your hands to the back of your head and see if you can lift your elbows up. And then see if you can lift your hands off the back of your head. All right, drop that left leg. Open up for warrior two. Whew. All right, so from here, warrior two. Drop your shoulders. Pull your fingers and thumbs back towards your face again. Press out through the heels of the hands. All right, pinwheel your hands down to the ground. Step back and come down to child's pose and just take a moment here. Check in with your body, see how it feels. All right, find a downward dog, flip your toes over. When you're ready, look up and inhale, step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale, take it to the sky. And exhale, arms to sides. Okay, so one more thing we're going to do, a balancing pose. So we're going to go for eagle posture. You probably want a block, so make sure there's one nearby just in case. And then you're going to go for standing on your left leg. So you're going to spread your toes out on your left leg, grab the ground with your left foot, and then bend your left leg. Then you're going to take your right leg and cross it over. And then if you feel like you need a little extra help here, you can put that foot on a block or on the ground. If you have the flexibility to wrap it around the back of your left calf, go for it. Take your arms out to the sides. And then you're going to take your right elbow under your left elbow. And then try to bring the backs of the hands together or do one more wrap around and see if you can get the palms of your hands together. Lift your elbows up to about shoulder level and drop your shoulders. Soften back from your inner knees to your groin, and you may even be able to bend your legs a little bit more, and then start dragging your elbows down towards your knees. And don't forget to breathe. Big inhales, big exhales. Keep dragging those elbows down so you're getting that nice stretch through the tops of the shoulders. All right, and then inhale, come on up and release. Shake it out a little bit. Let's go for the other side. So we're going to go onto the right leg. You might want your block to the outside of your right foot. So spread the toes out on your right foot. Bend your right leg a little bit. Cross your left leg over. And the foot may come to the ground or to the block. And then soften back from the knees to the groin. When you're ready, take the arms out to the sides. And then take that left elbow under the right elbow. See if you can wrap the hands around. Start with your elbows up at about chin level. Zip up. Big breathing. And then maybe drag those elbows down a little bit. come on up and release. All right, let's come down to the ground. So take the arms up on the inhale, look up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, stretch forward. Exhale, step back. Drop your knees and then push back to child's pose for just a sec. Take some big deep breaths. See where your body is. All right, so I'm going to do a quick tutorial just so, because this can be really confusing. So you know how we had hands on the back of the head, push back, take the hands off the back of the head, then we reached, and then we reached down and back, and then we brought the backs of the hands to the low back. We're going to do the same thing, but we're going to go opposite arms. And we're going to do this on our belly. So same thing, hand on the back of the head, back of the hand on the low back, but you're going to be doing those at the same time and then switching them out and then doing it again. So come onto your belly. And then start out with your right hand on the back of your head. So your forehead is on the ground. Your left hand, the back of your left hand is on your low back. Then lift your elbows up. Breathe deeply. Zip up your low belly. Lift your hands up about an inch. Now extend them. Left arm extends down, right arm extends up. Swing them out to the sides. So now your left arm's coming up around your head, right arm behind you, down by your hips. And then bring your left hand to the back of your head and the back of your right hand to your low back. Lift your elbows and then lift your hands again. See if you can put some space between the head and the hand and the hip of the hand. Let's do it again. Extend out. Swing out to the sides. Right arm forward, left arm back. Bring the right hand to the back of the head and the back of the left hand to the low back. And then see if you can lift them up off your back and off your head. Breathe. All right, swing them out, straight arms. And then one more time. Right back of the hand to the hip, left palm to the head. Lift your elbows, lift your hands. And now lift your head and chest and lift your legs. All right, take a breather. Relax, make a little pillow with your hands. Turn your head to one side. Breathe, make a little, place your cheek on your hands on your pillow. Breathe deeply. All right, we're going to do this one more time. So start out again. Take your left hand to the back of your head and right hand to your low back. Lift your elbows and then lift your hands. Breathe deeply, forehead on the ground. Now extend the arms. Left arm up, right arm down by your leg. Swing them around. Back of the left hand to your hips, right hand to the back of your head. Lift your elbows up. And then see if you can lift your hands up. Don't forget to breathe. All right, extend out. Come all the way around. Left hand to the back of the head, right hand to the back of the hips. Lift up your elbows. Lift up your hands. Extend. Come all the way around. Left hand to the hips, right hand to the back of the head. Lift the elbows and then lift the hands and then lift your head up and your chest up and your legs up. All right, and then release, make a little pillow. Turn your head the other direction. Other cheek on the pillow. Big breaths. All right, we're going to do a few of these Shalabhasanas. So now take the arms down next to your hips. Squeeze your legs together. Lift your legs up, lift your chest up, and press your hands firmly into the ground. So your shoulders should roll onto your back as well. Now your front ribs are probably pressing into the ground, so pull them in a little bit towards your spine. Now lift your arms up. Now bend your knees. And then lift your knees up a little bit higher. See if you can lift your thighs off the ground. And release. Make a little pillow. Turn your head to one side. Completely relax and melt into the ground. All right, let's do one more nice shoulder opener. You need to plant your hands behind your shoulders, roll the shoulders onto your back, and then come up to all fours. So this is Anahatasasana, heart-melting pose. Some people call this puppy dog. So you have a couple options here. Blocks are nice. If you have blocks, you can place them about shoulder distance apart and put the backs of your arms on the blocks. Or you can go sans blocks, which is the more OG way of doing this. So take your hands forward, and again, you can put the backs of your arms on the blocks, and then keep your hips over your knees and drop your forehead or your chin to the ground. Gently press your backs of your arms into the blocks or your hands into the ground. Lift your armpits up a little bit. Zip up your belly, and then see if you can melt your chest toward the ground. So that's pretty tough to do. Actually, getting your chest to touch the ground is quite difficult, so don't force it. But just imagine that there is a smooth stone on your upper back and it's growing heavier and heavier, and see if you can just melt through that upper chest toward the ground. All right, and then gently slide those hands back. All right, we're gonna do one more thing here. Let's go for Dhanurasana, and then we'll come into a pigeon. So bend your knees, reach back, grab the tops of your feet. We're gonna do 2 of these. So if you can only grab 1 foot at a time, you can go for 1 foot and the other side is extended. So once you're here, squeeze into the midline, roll the shoulders onto your back, roll your pubic bone toward the ground, zip up your low belly, and then push your feet into your hands. And if you're breathing really deeply, you're probably going to rock forward and backward a little bit. All right, and then release. Take a moment, just extend your body, no forward bending. Just take a moment and relax. This is a great variation. So if you place your cheek on your hands, there's a little bit of a turn in your neck, which is nice. But if you want a slightly bigger curve in your neck, if you've got some tension up there, you can place your cheek on the ground and take your arms straight out to the sides. So it's about a 1/4 inch more of a stretch, but just see if that feels good. And you may be surprised when we go to the other side to find that your neck turns better to one side than the other. All right, let's go for the bend again. So you're going to bend your knees and lift your thighs. So do some of the work already with these hamstrings. The hamstrings are the leg muscles that bend the knees. You're going to reach back. And this is great. And then you can go for 1 leg or 2 legs. So if you want to grab your feet or your ankles, go for it. If you just want to grab one, that's okay too. Squeeze your legs into the midline. Come on up, breathe deeply, pull those front ribs in, low belly in. You can point or flex. It just slightly engages different parts of your body. If you point, you engage your hamstrings more. If you flex, you engage your quadriceps more. release. Again, make a little pillow for your hands and turn your cheek the other direction. Or you can bring your cheek straight to the ground. Take your arms out to the sides. All right, place your hands on the ground, roll your shoulders onto your back, push back to child's pose. And let's go into a pigeon. So you can do pigeon on your front or pigeon on your back. And I'll go ahead and show from the front angle here. So right leg is going to lunge forward, and then walk your right foot either over to the left hand, which is pretty advanced, or you're going to slide it more toward that left hip. So the right knee, however, if you see how my arms come straight down from my shoulders, my right knee is actually slightly outside my right arm. So that's where you want it to be, no matter where that right foot is. So this is pigeon on the front side. If you want to do more of a supine pigeon, you can cross your right ankle just below your left knee on the thigh, grab the back of the thigh or the front of the shin. So either one is fantastic. Just figure out which one works better for you. And that may just be a today thing. So sometimes there's definitely just a posture that's better for you. And then sometimes there are days where you're like, I really don't feel like doing that particular variation that I've done so many times before. So you decide. Take some big deep breaths here. We're going to do a pigeon and then a twist, and then we're going to actually start walking out of the pigeon and getting a little bit more of a back bend. All right, let's go for the twist. So if you're on your front side, you will take your left forearm in front, right hand out to the side, lengthen your spine and twist and look over your right shoulder. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can take a block to the ground, or so you put your head on it, bring your left shoulder to the ground, head on the block, bring your hands into prayer position. If you're on your back, then you have a couple different variations here. So what I do, if on my back, is I actually flex my right toes toward the knee and pull against the outside of the leg, and then drop my right foot flat to the ground. So as I come to the left, I'll drop my right foot flat to the ground. And then I'm going to use my right butt cheek, my right outer glute, to kind of pull my right hip down toward my left heel, or my right knee toward my left heel. So as you're doing that, you feel outer hip muscles doing some work as you're getting to a nice twist, and it creates a nice curve in your low back, a nice neutral curve. So if you're on your back, that's a great variation as well. Think about 3 more big breaths. And gently come out of the posture. So if you're on your front side, do a down dog. If you're on your back side, you're going to do a happy baby dead bug. Rock from side to side a little bit. All right, let's go for the other side. So again, left leg is going to cross over, whether you are on your front side or your back side. Left foot may be closer to your hip than to your right elbow. Take some big deep breaths. Make sure that left knee is slightly wider than your left shoulder. Zip up your low belly. Resist a little bit with the right leg. Don't forget to breathe. add in a twist. So if you're on your front, you're going to bring your right forearm in front and gently twist to the left and look over your left shoulder. You maybe want to come down a little bit deeper. And same thing with that. If you're on your back side, you're going to create that twist by dropping that left foot toward the ground, but you're kind of pulling against that outer right leg with your foot, grabbing on like a hook, and then dropping that left hip toward, or your left knee toward your right heel. And then maybe looking over your left shoulder. All right. And then we're going to do a happy baby dead bug or a down dog. And then we're going to do our pigeon one more time. And we're going to add in a little bit of a back bend into that pigeon. Okay, so same thing. If you're doing your pigeon on your back, cross your right ankle over. If you're doing your pigeon on your front, take a moment and find your prostrate pigeon. And then you're going to roll your shoulders onto your back. And if you're on your back, you're going to press your left foot into the ground. And imagine there's a weight attached to your right knee and drop your right knee a little bit. So that is your back bend. And then you can keep trying to roll those shoulders onto your back and press the back of your head into the ground. If you were on your front side, then you are going to slowly start walking yourself up. So you're going to come from forward and start walking yourself up. As you walk yourself up, try to roll your pubic bone toward the ground and zip up your low belly and pull the front ribs in. And sometimes a block is really useful here. So you can take a block to the right side since there's a little bit of a tendency to kind of lean to the right side. Big breathing. So if you feel no compression in your back, excellent. If you do feel compression, pull the belly in more, pull the front ribs in more, and even engage your thigh, your left quadricep a little bit more. So this is great. You can hang out here. If you're a little tight, you can lean forward slightly. You don't have to come all the way to upright. If you are on the more flexible side, you can bend your back knee, reach back and grab the top of the foot, and then see if you can square up your rib cage toward the short end of your mat, the front of your mat. And if you're a little bit more flexible than that, you can start pulling that left leg in and bringing your left heel toward your hip. So you just decide where you want to go with this. It can keep on going and keep on going. So there's another variation where you hook your foot into your elbow, then you bring your hands behind your back. So that's another variation, and it just keeps on going. So breathe deeply, figure out what works for you right now. If you're on your back and you want to go just a little bit more involved, there's plenty happening, but if you want to go a little bit more involved while you're on your back, you can see if you can clasp your hands together underneath you. Keep pressing the back of your head in the ground. All right, let it go. Down dog or happy baby. So figure out which one is most appropriate right now. And we're going to go for the other side. So if you're on your back, cross your left ankle just below your right knee on the thigh. If you're on your front side, bring that left knee in. Take some nice deep breaths. And then we're going to add in that back bend. So same thing, if you're on your front side, roll your pubic bone toward the ground, zip up your belly. Slowly start walking yourself up. If you're on your back, grab the sides of your mat, roll those shoulders underneath you. Hug that outer right leg with your left foot. Pull in a little bit and drop that left knee. Big breathing. And then keep focusing on, is my belly in? Are my front ribs in? Am I engaging my legs? Front ribs really love to flare out no matter which position you're in. And Left hand, if you're on your front side, can be on a block or on your thigh. And then if you feel like you want to add a little extra, you can go ahead and do that. Bring your right leg in, maybe reach back and grab. If you can't grab, it's okay. See if you can square up your rib cage to the front of your mat. Alright, and then let it go, and then happy baby dead bug or child's pose. I'm going to open up my eastward looking doors here. Alright, take a moment, breathe. Still trying to figure out how to get sunrise into our indoor sunrise yoga class, and just found that my house is not built for it. So, all right, so from here, the next thing we're going to do is forearm balance preparation. You can end up going into a forearm balance if you want. So if you have a wall nearby, you may want to take your block over near the wall. Otherwise, we're going to go into dolphin and get into the shoulders a little bit more. So this upper rhomboid area is an area that in general we tend to hunch a lot when we're sitting. And so it's not that you're tight here, it's that you're actually overstretched a lot. You're really kind of placing your rhomboid muscles and a lot of the traps basically in like an overstretched posture all the time. You're just rolling forward. So the more you can strengthen your back muscles, the happier your neck is and the happier your back is. So this is a great posture. It's a lot of work, but it's a great posture for the future, like the rest of the day, right? We're staying in the now, but this now is going to make the rest of our day a lot happier. So put your block between your thumbs. You're going to make little L shapes here between your thumb and the rest of your hand. And then forearms are parallel to each other, and you're going to find your dolphin pose. So the trick with the dolphin pose is that if you're a little tight or weak in your trap muscles and your rhomboids between your shoulder blades, you're going to feel this between your shoulder blades, right? You're going to press your chest towards your toes and look at the ground. Look at the ground between your elbows or your forearms. You want a little bit of a lift of the chin so you have a nice little curve in your neck. And then you can walk in a little bit, keep pressing your chest towards your toes. You can make this a little bit tougher and take a leg up. Nice deep breaths. Big inhales, big exhales. If you are ready to go for the full posture here of inverting, then you may want a wall. So I'm going to use my bookcase. If you have a bookcase, I don't recommend using that because I'm not really using my bookcase. I'm just using it as a prop. But you can try that. So you get uncomfortably close to your wall, palms the hands on the ground, and then lift your hips up. And then you will slowly walk up your wall, right? To about hip level. So you're not going all the way up. Chin is up, nice deep breaths. Big inhales, big exhales. If you want to play with it, you can take a leg up. If you don't want to play with it, don't. Nice big breathing. And it's recommended that you try doing this for about a minute or so. So, 20 breaths, roughly. And this is where I'm so sad that I don't get to see you guys and help you out. But keep breathing. Take some time. All right, go ahead and come on down, and then I'll count out the next one for about a minute for you, so you get an idea of how long you're there. So take a child's pose. Take a moment, just breathe. let's do another one. So place your hands flat on the ground. One variation that I talk about a lot in class, so most of you are very familiar with this, but if anybody's watching who doesn't usually take my class, occasionally when your hands are going flat in this posture, a lot of people feel pinching and impingement in the inner shoulders. So another way to do this is to flip your hands over, and then you essentially karate chop the block, kind of press in and pull your thumbs down. And what that does is that opens up your shoulders a little bit more and makes it a little bit more accessible for those of us who are a little bit tighter through the front of the pec muscles. So you may want to try that. Otherwise, palms down works pretty well. So palms down or palms up. I'll go ahead and do the palms up one. I'm karate chopping the block with the pinky edges of my hands. Thumbs down. The thumbs are going to pop up anyway, but I'm going to try to keep pressing them down. And then come on up into your dolphin pose. And then if you want to add in a little extra, you can always take a leg up and then take 20 breaths. All right, take a break, come on down, child's pose. Big breathing. Notice what that did for your body, see what's changed. All right, let's do a little bit of relaxation here before we go into Shavasana. So lie on your back. Hug your right knee into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Take your right arm out to the side and slowly bring your right leg across the body to the left, stacking your right hip over your left hip. So you're going to roll onto your outer left hip. Come back to the center. Let's switch sides. Bring your left leg into your chest and squeeze in. And then take your left arm out to the side, look over the left shoulder, and bring your left leg across the body to the right, stacking your left hip over your right hip and rolling onto your outer right hip, outer right thigh. All right, come back to the center. Take your right leg up, and you may need a strap for this. Put the strap around the right foot, the ball of the right foot, and then press your left heel toward the ground and your left thigh toward the ground. So the back of the left thigh probably won't touch the ground, but you're going to keep pressing your left thigh muscles down against your femur bone. As you do that, pull your right leg in. See if you can roll your tailbone toward the ground so that you have a little curve under your low back. So you very possibly have your low back flattened against the ground.
which isn't terrible, but it's not neutral. So see if you can roll your tailbone toward the ground, see if you get a little bubble of air under your low back, and then lift your head and shoulders up and bow towards your right leg. Keep pressing your left heel down and your left thigh down. All right, bring your head and shoulders down. Grab your big toe or your strap with your right hand and slowly lower your right leg down, but keep your left thigh and left hip down. So you may want to use your left hand to press down into your hip as you lower your right leg down. So if your left hip pops up, your right leg is too low. Bring that leg back up, switch hands on the strap or on the foot, and bring the leg across the body momentarily. Just get a nice IT band stretch here through that outer hip, outer thigh. And then let that go. Let's go for the other side. Left leg up. Put your strap around the ball of your foot or grab any part of your leg or foot. Press your right thigh down, right heel down. Pull that leg in. Try to get a little bit of a curve in your low back. Try to roll your tailbone toward the ground. Draw your shoulders down to the ground. And then lift your head and shoulders up and bow towards your left leg. Keep pressing your right heel down and your right thigh down. Big breathing. Head and shoulders comes back down. Transfer that strap or foot into your left hand. Bring your right hand to your hip and lower your left leg. So again, if your right hip pops up, your left leg is too low. Look over your right shoulder. Bring that left leg back up. Switch hands. Take the left leg across the body to the right. Try to stick your tailbone out, see if there's a little curve in your back. Look over your left shoulder. And then release. All right, so let me give you one more thing to do before we relax. You're going to put your shoulders, upper shoulders on your block, and you have another block down here where your feet are. You're going to put your upper back up on the block. So this is a supine plank here. And then your heels on the other block. Take your hands under your head and lift your head up like you've got a sling or a hammock under your head. And then lift your hips up and stretch out. Roll your kneecaps toward the sky. If you don't have blocks, you can just extend, extend, extend. And this should have gotten everything nice and lengthened out so you can do a really nice Shavasana. So take a moment here. You can do either Shavasana, or if you're still loving all the shoulder stuff and want more, you can take one block under your upper back and one block under your head and take the arms out to the sides. So get comfortable, take some deep breaths.
If you find your mind wandering, come back to the now. Focus on your breath. Notice it coming in and out. If you would like to stay in Shavasana or in your resting pose for a little longer, I encourage you to do so. So if you're there and you'd like to stay there, you can stay right there and breathe and say Om Shanti Shanti to yourself and take some extra time. Otherwise, if you are ready to go, you feel like you need to move on from this practice, come to a seated posture and bring your hands into your heart center. And take a moment to remember that the now is the really important part of mindfulness, paying attention to what is happening right this very moment, not going back into the past, not obsessing about the future. Take a moment to thank yourself for all the things that you have, a little bit of gratitude as well for everything around you. There's so many things to be grateful for. Bring your hands up to your forehead for kind thoughts, down to your lips for kind words, and down to your heart center for kind intentions. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And thanks. So I have created a YouTube channel, and it's not an officially named channel because it needs 1,000 subscribers, but I will put that up there. Fabiola! I'm going to put that up there if you guys want to check out some of the classes we've done over the last week. I've been posting those classes to that YouTube channel, and I'll post that as well on here if you want to go check that out. So, all right, I'm going to sign off and have a great weekend, and check out the YouTube channel if you're interested in doing anything this weekend.